Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. Please hit the like button, hit the share button, and tag Lolly Dolly, everybody, and let them know your boy, my squad in the Ramonepreston Show. We're live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. This is the day. It is Millionaire Monday. November the 21st, 2022. We're just a few days away from celebrating Thanksgiving. Seems like my family and I, we've already started our Thanksgiving celebration. So good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you're coming on, all you have to do is just please hit the like button, hit the share button, put in the comments what city you're watching me from. I love to know where you're watching us from when you're watching the Ramonepreston Show. I want to say thank you to you, to everyone who's watching the show, who continues to support this economic movement that we are engaging in here at Ramonepreston Enterprises. One of my deepest passions as a teacher, as an educator, as a trainer, as a minister, and as an entrepreneur, one of my deepest passions is to really see my people, our tribe, our community, take their economic lives to the next level. So whether that's you on a W-2 job, in a career, as a 1099 contractor, as a legitimate business owner, even as a minister, I want to see you take your economic lives to the next level. And so I appreciate you for joining me today. Please put in the comments what city you're watching me from today. I would love to know where you're watching us from. And I want to say welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. Just in case you don't know, now you know. My name is Ramonepreston. I am the host of the Ramonepreston Show. And every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, guess what I do? I take about an hour out of my schedule every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, to show up on this show, to give you the game, to give you some information that I know can help you properly start, properly structure, and at some point you can properly scale your business and your income stream. So if you have a desire to either start a business or properly structure it so you can scale it, what I give to you on this show can definitely help you make that happen. Now, what qualifies me to say that I can help you properly start, structure, and scale a business? Well, number one, I've properly started, structured, and scaled my own business. I've created a successful organizational enterprise. And after 20 years of being a full-time entrepreneur, I think I know a thing or two about business ownership. I think I know a thing or two about starting and structuring and scaling a business, at least to 7 figures. So what I share with you can definitely bring you to $1 million organization. And so today I want to take a few minutes to talk to you about what business success requires. Everybody want to be successful in business. Everybody have this idea of firing their boss. Have you ever heard somebody say that? I want to fire my boss. That might be good and bad. I don't know. But the concept or the idea of starting a business and succeeding in that business, it has some requirements behind it. Okay, you ain't gonna just start no LLC. You ain't gonna just put no business together and think that ta-da, overnight you're gonna see business success. And today I want to take a few minutes to talk to you about what business success requires. Now, before I get into the 3 things that I want to share with you that I believe are required for business success, let's build a solid foundation for what business success actually is. So if we're talking about what business success requires, we need to know what business success is, because everybody want to be successful. And most people who want to be successful would love to be successful through a business. But what exactly is business success? Well, first of all, business is not just you starting an LLC. Business is not you just putting some paperwork together and getting a logo and getting a domain name and starting a website or landing page and printing out some cards and getting some t-shirts. That ain't necessarily business. So first of all, when I'm saying business, I'm talking about a vehicle that you can use to create wealth. I'm talking about a system that you're able to put together that can take care of you and your family, that can provide products and services to the community, and that can actually really impact your family and your legacy. So when I say business success, I'm talking about you putting together something that's good, that's sustainable. Of course, it is a LLC. Of course, it's a legal entity. Of course, it's going to require all those other things like bank accounts and paperwork and articles of organization and EIN numbers and logos and domains and landing pages. But the most important part of business is you understanding that this is something that I want to put together to use to create wealth, to make an impact, to provide products and services, and I want this to be a vehicle that can take me to my next level. Now, when you add success to business, what you have to understand, even before I give you what these three things are that business success requires, you have to understand that when you add success to business, it starts out with you putting the right system together. But then when you add success to that system, you have to accept that business success is not business success if there's no scoreboard. Are you following me? If there's no scoreboard. So there has to be some type of scoreboard that you use in order to quantify your business success. So think about it. Business success. Okay? We're talking about business is system. This is a system. A business is a vehicle. Okay? This is what you're going to use to create wealth for yourself. This is what you're going to use to make an impact in your life, in your family's life, in the community. This is what you're going to use to house your products and your services, to go take them to the market so that you can make money. This is what you're using, business. But when you add success to your business, now you're talking about having a scoreboard. Okay? You're talking about having a scoreboard. You're talking about something that you can actually quantify. This is very important because a lot of people be using words and statements and saying stuff like, I just want to be successful. I want to make a lot of money. I want my business to be successful. Okay, well, I'm going to show you what your business success is going to require, but you still need to know what is business success. I'm telling you what business success is. Business success is you being able to have a scoreboard to quantify what this system or this vehicle that you've put together is actually producing. So you ain't gonna have no business success if you can't quantify or look at certain data points and numbers to see what exactly is my LLC doing. Because if you got an LLC, you done put your whole business together and you ain't got no scoreboard, you have no quantifiable, measurable dollar amount to see where your LLC is, that means you ain't got business success. And I want you to change that, because everybody can start a LLC, but everybody cannot start a LLC, put the right system together for that LLC, use that LLC as a vehicle, and have a scoreboard to quantify what that LLC is actually doing. Okay? So next time you hear somebody talk about business success, understand this is what they should be talking about. Okay? So today I want to talk about what business success requires. And I'm going to give you three things that business success requires. At least I believe these are the three things that business success requires. So number one, business success requires stewardship. Business success requires stewardship. And if I was you, when you watching me on this show, you should be taking notes. You should be getting this information and studying it and learning it so that you can understand it the way I do. Now, why should you do that? Well, if what I'm sharing with you is something that I've used to create business success, and I have a successful business, and I am a successful entrepreneur, at some point you got to say, man, I got to get what he's talking about, and I got to understand it the way he's understanding it. Like I listen to people. I have coaches, I have mentors, I have trainers and teachers and people that I get information from and I study. And I got to keep listening to what they're saying over and over again until I can understand it the way they understanding it, so I can see the results that they're seeing with what they're using. Okay? So the first thing that business success requires is stewardship. Business success requires stewardship. Okay, now you might not know what stewardship is. I'm going to explain to you what stewardship is, because if you plan on starting a business and you plan on structuring and scaling that business to a place of success, then the first requirement for that to happen is you have to have some level, and most likely a great level, of stewardship. So a steward, you can look it up. A steward is like a housekeeper. A steward is a gatekeeper. A steward is someone who knows how to take care of property. They know how to take care of assets. They know how to care for things that are valuable. This is a steward. So when you hear somebody say, oh, so-and-so was a good steward over the estate, or they were a good steward over their car. So for example, if you have a car, if you take care of your car, if you get your oil changed, if you get your car serviced, if you keep it clean, you get it washed and detailed and waxed and vacuumed, and you really take care of that car, what that means is you are a good steward over your car. If you got a place to stay, if you keep it clean, if you make sure you ain't got, bugs and just food and stuff all over the place where you stay at, that means you're a good steward. If you got clothes, you take care of your clothes, you fold them, you wash them, you dry clean them, that means you're a good steward over your clothes. You have a body. If you take care of your body, you monitor your health, you don't destroy your body, that means you're a good steward over your body. If you have family and you take care of your family, see, anything that you take care of, anything that you take responsibility for, anything that you prioritize and that you manage and maintain the integrity of, that thing or those people you have become a steward over. And so business success, number one, requires stewardship. It requires you to take responsibility over this LLC. It requires you to look at this LLC or this S Corp or C Corp or whatever type of entity you put together. It requires you to look at it as if it's an asset that you're supposed to take care of. I tell my students and my clients that I coach a lot of times that your business needs to be like your baby. So if you had a new baby, right? Is you gonna just drop your baby? If you have a newborn, you gonna just leave your baby on the table or sit them in a chair? No, you're gonna take care of your baby. You're gonna make sure the baby get fed. You're gonna change the baby diaper. You're gonna put the baby to sleep. You're gonna burp the baby. You're gonna do it. You're gonna be a good steward over your child. Okay? So business success, if you want your business to be successful, you need to start practicing stewardship. You gotta take your business serious. It can't be a hobby. It can't be something you just doing on the side. It's iffy. It don't matter if you really succeed or not, because you got other options. You ain't gonna never see business success. Now, let me give you some things that you need to think about when it comes to being a steward or stewardship for your business. All right. Number one, stewardship is going to reflect your mindset. So now you got to start taking your business serious, and you got to take upon the mindset of an entrepreneur. You got to take upon the mindset of a business owner. Now you got to start looking at your business as your baby, and you got to prioritize it. So I tell this to entrepreneurs all the time, students and clients and mentees that I work with. I'm like, how you going to have a business and you don't learn to be better at your business every day? You ain't studying every day. You ain't growing. Because see, I get on my clients because, okay, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant for business, but I also have an educational platform. So I got courses on entrepreneurship, courses on how to start business, courses on investing, courses on financial literacy, courses on goal setting, courses on just about all the ins and outs of business for systems and processes and finances and operations and marketing and sales. So when I talk to a student or a client and they tell me they ain't studying every day, They ain't learning how to be a better CEO every day. They not on my online courses every day. Guess what that's telling me? Number one, they're not a good steward. And if they're not a good steward, they probably have the wrong mindset about their business. They probably negative. They probably always got excuses. They never see the brighter side. They never see the bigger picture. They pessimistic. They're always complaining. You know why? Because they ain't good stewards. They're not good stewards. So if you're going to be a good steward for business, you got to have the right mindset. And how's you going to have the right mindset if you're not learning more about business? Okay, stewardship is also about commitment. This is another part of stewardship, commitment. See, I don't have to brag, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a great example of what stewardship in business is. You know why? Because 20 years ago, when me and my wife decided that we was going to be full-time entrepreneurs, I didn't have no job. So I didn't have a pot to put it in or when to throw it out. And I really didn't have no choice. And that was really to my advantage because it put me in a position that I had to roll up my sleeves. I had to get out there and I had to scrap. And I already had the mindset 20 years ago that even though I didn't think of it from a perspective of stewardship, but I still had this mindset that, man, listen, I can get out here and pick cans. I used to always tell my wife this. I can get out here and pick cans and make $50, $60, $70 a day to eat and to pay my bills if I had to. That's the mindset I had. And because I had that mindset, guess what? I made the commitment 20 years ago. I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way. Now, did I have moments in the last 20 years that I felt like, man, I better go get me a job? Yeah, many times. I felt like that many times. Did I give up within the last 20 years? Many times. I gave up thousands of times in my head. But the difference between me and other people was I might give up in my head, but I'm going to shake it off and I'm going to bounce back. Boy, get out there and do what you got to do today. Make it happen. I've been through a lot in the last 20 years as an entrepreneur. But I can tell you something. I treated my entrepreneurship. I treated my business. I treated my dreams. I treated my vision. I treated what I wanted to have for my life and for my family as a good steward. I treated it like it was an asset, like it was valuable, like it was precious. And I realized that I needed to develop a better mindset. And I made commitments. I made commitments that I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep figuring it out. And I did this when I didn't have money. I did this when I didn't have business going on. I did this when I didn't have clients and customers and students and a platform and an organization of people who support me and who believe in me and who follow me. I did this when I didn't have none of that. So if you think you got to get that to have this, you're wrong. You need to have this before you get all that. Because I'm telling you, ain't nobody going to be following you and trusting you and doing business with you, and they can't see this level of stewardship already in your life. They need to see this. People need to see that you're 100% committed. And then you got the mindset to be that way. Okay? Here's another thing you need to think about. Stewardship is also about accountability. This is a big one because if you're a small business owner, if you're an entrepreneur and you're a good steward, you're going to have the right mindset, right? You're going to have a commitment. Your commitment is going to be seen because you always figuring out a new way to get better at what you do. But you also need accountability. This is why having a coach, and this is why being a part of communities is very important, because people hold you accountable. I always tell my wife and my team that when you see people coming and going and they flip-flopping and they don't want to be around long, I'm not saying that they don't see anything wrong in me or my wife or my team, but a lot of times it ain't that they see something wrong, is that they don't want to do right over long periods of time because they don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to be called out on their laziness. They don't want to be called out on their ratchetness. So they be lazy, they be ratchet, they be shade tree. They don't want to do business on the up and up. They don't want to operate in integrity, so they don't want to be held accountable. But stewardship requires accountability too. All right. Number 4, this is all under stewardship. Stewardship also also is also about consistency. So when you think about, I want you to see this, when you think about stewardship, I'm telling you, business success requires stewardship. Okay? This is what business success requires. So if you plan on being successful in business, trust me, at some point, what I'm telling you right here, this is gonna make sense. And when I say business success, trust me, I'm talking about this. You making some doggone money. All that other stuff people be talking about, oh, I'm successful, but you ain't got no scoreboard. You ain't successful. You delusional. That's what you are. When people be telling you, oh, I'm successful, I don't have to have money to be successful. They're delusional. That's what they are. They're not successful. They're delusional. Okay? Because it's just like playing a game. It's like playing a ball game. When you watch football, when you watch basketball, when you watch soccer in the World Cup, all these sports that you watch, would you watch a game and nobody's taking score? Would you watch the game? How long are you going to watch a game before you like, man, when the game going to end? Or who going to win the game? But they say, oh, we ain't scoring. We just playing just to play. At some point, you're going to leave the game because there's no scoreboard. So business success requires a scoreboard. And that scoreboard is going to be determined by your stewardship. What type of mindset do you have for business? What type of commitment do you have for business? What type of accountability do you have in business? Because if you're not accountable, what that means is every day you wake up, you do what you want to do. Because see, that's what some people's mindset is. Oh, I just want to fire my boss and get out of work in 9 to 5 so I can do what I want to do and come when I want to come. What you're trying to do is put yourself in a position where you're no longer accountable. Because what a job does sometimes is hold you accountable, and a job makes you get your behind up and do something, makes you figure it out, makes you work hard for what you want to get paid for. So a job can be good. And most people who use I want to own my own business as an excuse just to get out of a job, they're really trying to get out of accountability. And stewardship also is about you being consistent. So now, are you willing to do something consistently over long periods of time? Are you willing to do something consistently over long periods of time? Like what me and my wife have experienced just in the last 3 years. Like almost all of our success has really come within the last like 3.5, almost about 4 years. That's when me and my wife started seeing like real differences. Like, oh wow, we seeing some difference now. Like we starting to see some stuff now just within the last 3.5 years maybe. Okay? Maybe 3 years, 3 good years. So I want you to understand, we've been entrepreneurs. Me and my wife been married, full-time entrepreneurs since we've been married. We got married 19 years ago. So out of the last 19 years that I've been married to my wife and that we've been 100% entrepreneurs, working for ourselves, scrapping it out of 19 years, only 3 of them have we really seen like a whole different level of success. So what happened the first 16? Well, the first 16, we was making money, but we wasn't as successful as we are now. We was figuring a lot of things out. But guess what? If we would have gave up in year 4, if we would have gave up in year 7, if we would have gave up in year 10, if year 13, we would have been like, man, it's too much. But we kept fighting because we were good stewards over our dream, over business, over ministry, over the things that we knew we wanted to do, because we wanted business success and we was unwilling to give up. So we were stewards. We kept working on our mindset. We kept our commitments renewed. We stayed accountable and we stayed consistent. I'm telling you, that's like one of the biggest requirements for business success. All right. Number 2, the second requirement for business success is strategies. This is very important. This is a very, very important requirement for business success. Okay? Strategies. Now, when I say strategies, I want you to understand what I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about information. Because everybody think information is like the key. Information is everywhere. Like, let me give you an example. You can watch me. You could go watch 10 other internet gurus. You can binge watch YouTube. You could binge watch videos. You can take online courses. You can Google your way to the moon and back when it comes to business success. But let me tell you something. Information is not a strategy. Okay? And all you church folks and spiritual people who just think, oh, I'm going to pray and I'm going to cross my fingers and I'm going to hope and one day God just going to do it for me. For a lot of you, that don't work. You know why? Because what if God don't want to do it for you? What if he wants to do it through you? What if he wants to do it through you? See, I had to realize this early on in my entrepreneurship, that there were some things God wasn't going to do for me. God was going to do through me. So that meant I needed to develop myself and grow as a person and build the muscle and get out there in the trenches of whatever it is that I wanted to see success in. And I had to trust that God was going to work through me, but it was going to be my hands. It was going to be my brain. It was going to be my mouth. It was going to be my presence. It was going to be my activities that he worked through. That's a big difference than me sitting home. Man, I just hope God do it for me. I just hope this happens for me. Man, I just can't wait until my prayer is answered and I become successful. The likelihood of that happening is slim to none. Most people who think like that never see it. But the people who think the other way, okay? And this is where your strategies come into play. As a matter of fact, I remember years ago, it was about 16 years ago, I remember I was praying and I was like, man, God, I need you to do something for me. I'm ready to, like explode and go to the next level. Like I was just praying and fasting and I was just waiting for God to just, like drop a Brinks bag out the sky. And then something hit me. And what hit me was, man, you need strategies. You need strategies. You need more than just like this miraculous, magical event to happen. Bruh, you need to put some strategies in place. You need to work this thing and you need to figure out how to work it, okay? That's what you got to do. It's kind of like going fishing. I'm from South Florida originally, so that's all we did was swim and fish. So, most people from South Florida, especially when you grew up like I did, like a mile from the beach, we stayed in the ocean, swimming way out there in the ocean, all the way to the sandbar, past the sandbar. We swam in rivers, lakes with alligators, and we didn't care. We were swimming. And we fished. These are two things that we always did, swim and fish. I mean, we really didn't have a whole lot of other stuff to do. But the thing about fishing was, there are a lot of people who would come out to the fish creek. They would have the pin reels and rods, the nicest reel and rods. They would have the expensive bait, like they be out the big tackle box, and they would have coolers full of food. And here we come out there from the hood. We got cane poles, but we had strategies because we had the elders that used to show us how to catch fish. What time to go fish, where to put the hooks in the water and all this stuff. And we would always catch fish because while they had all the fancy stuff, we had strategies. So stop thinking that all of your business success is tied to you having money, you having credit, you having connections with the right people, and you having a whole lot of resources. That don't necessarily mean you got strategies. I know a whole lot of people who got money, they got credit, they got networks, They got other resources, but let me tell you what they don't have. They don't have strategies. So what are strategies? Well, strategies are really principles for economics, principles for investing, principles for business. Like when I'm talking about strategies, I'm talking about certain principles. So a principle is a consistent truth. So unlike people who might have a little money, might have a little credit, might have some networks, they might know some people and they might have some extra resources. If you don't have any of this, this doesn't mean you can't have business success. And I'm telling you from firsthand, because when I started, I didn't have money. I didn't have money. I didn't have no money, period. I didn't have money, all right? I didn't have credit. My credit was tore up. I didn't have networks. I didn't know nobody, especially when I first moved to Atlanta. I had no money, I had no credit, I had no networks, and I really didn't have no resources. All I had was the stuff that I was putting up here. But the stuff that I was putting up here was not coming from people who didn't know nothing. Okay, I was reading the right books. I was listening to the right people. And all of a sudden, I started developing strategies, which are what? Principles. A principle is a consistent truth. I started studying people who were doing things consistently, and they were seeing certain successful results economically in their investments and in their businesses. And so I started adopting some of these principles and figuring out what was the best way to implement these principles in my life. And again, I didn't have working capital. I didn't have a credit line. I didn't have a loan from a bank. Now, did I try all of that? Yes, I tried all of that. I tried everything. Did I have credit? I didn't have credit. Did I try to get credit? Of course I did, because I was listening to some people who was telling me, oh, this is the way to go. Go and get your loan, get your line of credit, you know, all this stuff. And there's some relevance to that. But a lot of times when you don't have it and when you can't get it, you can't be paralyzed because you ain't got money. You can't be paralyzed because you ain't got good credit. Okay, you ain't got no credit. Nobody don't want to give you no credit card. Nobody don't want to give you no line of credit. Nobody wants to give you a loan. Now what? Now what? That's the part that I'm focusing on. And I had to realize, oh, I've got to develop strategies. That means I've got to learn principles. I've got to learn certain economic principles. So now I had to study economics, investing, and business. And what I started learning when I started studying these things, here's what I started learning. I started learning that I need to get better at making money. I need to get better at managing money. I need to get better at multiplying my money. I got to get better at selling. I got to become more professional. I got to get better at marketing. I got to understand financial systems better. I got to understand the world of investing. I got to understand what vehicles that work and what vehicles that don't work. I have to understand business systems and infrastructures and how they work together so that I can create something sustainable. These are principles that everybody has to learn, but all of these principles are tied to strategies. That's why strategies is my second requirement for business success. Okay, number three. My third requirement for business success is systems. And I talk about this religiously because it just seems like everybody who's entrepreneurs, they just don't understand systems. They just don't want to understand it because they don't want to do the hard work. They just think they're going to, you know, entrepreneurs today think they're going to click a button and everything going to be automated and everybody else going to do something for you. Man, that crap don't work. It don't work. And I'm not saying it hasn't worked for some people, but most people don't get it like that. If you think you're going to just build something and you're going to click a button and everybody's going to call for you, everybody's going to do deals for you. Like, if everybody's going to do this stuff for you, why don't they just do it for themselves? At some point, you got to understand, I got to do it. I got to wake up every day. I got to build these systems. I got to run these systems. I got to tweak these systems. I've got to become more involved and engaged with these systems. And I got to keep repeating this process every day consistently over long periods of time until I'm able to bring on the right people who can help me do what I'm doing. But I'm still going to have to do it. Okay? And so the third requirement for business success is systems. Now, of course, when I say systems, I'm talking about systems that help you create more business exchanges. Systems that help you create more business exchanges. Simply speaking, you need systems like when you get your LLC set up and you get your bank account. All right, now what? Now you need to have products and services. You got to have some products and services. So now you got to look at your ideas. You got to turn your ideas into products and services, right? And then when you turn your ideas into products and services, you gotta package them. You got to make sure that they're packaged correctly. Let's see here, packaged. You got to make sure that your products and services are packaged correctly. You got to make sure that they're priced correctly. And you got to make sure that you can present them correctly. And then now, here's where your systems come in place, because now you got to market. So marketing is a part of a system that you have to have in your business with processes. You got to have marketing campaigns. You got to create content. You got to provide value. You got to be consistent over and over again on a day-to-day basis on social media, networking, connecting with people, communicating with people, making sure your messaging and your branding is all right. But all this is a part of that process. So now once you have your ideas, you turn them into products and services, you package them right, you price them right, you present them, now you can market. Once you start marketing and once you start getting attention, guess what you're going to have to have? You're going to have some type of sales system and process. Because now if people are giving you emails, if people are responding to you, people want to know more about your products and services, you've got to have some type of sales system that your marketing system is tied to so that you can house that information. You can walk them through a professional sales process. Like, I had to learn this stuff and it's important to get it. Otherwise, you're not going to have no business success. I'm just telling you. Once you have your sales system, the next thing you're going to have or need is a financial system. Because when you do start making money, and even before you start making money, you're going to be spending money. So a lot of times when you start a business, you're going to have expenses before you have income. But either way, how are you going to track your income and expenses? How are you going to create tax strategies to lower your taxes and maximize your profits? How are you going to forecast? How are you going to measure your KPIs? How are you going to determine what is working and what is not working, or what activities in your business are actually impacting your revenue? You got to have a financial system, and then you're going to have an operational system. Like, you're not going to get around this stuff. Everything I'm telling you, people who ain't doing this, they don't have a real business. I'm telling you, they ain't got no real business. And if they tell you they got a real business and they ain't doing this, they must have a whole lot of money and they paying somebody to do all this or paying a company to do all this. But most entrepreneurs don't have money, credit, networks, and resources to pay people to do all this stuff, or friends and family who are good enough to do this stuff the right way. So that means most entrepreneurs have to learn this stuff and figure this stuff out. This is why I teach what I teach. Okay, so right now I have a 1-year millionaire mentorship program. It's a millionaire mentorship program because I want to mentor people to millions. I want to mentor people to become blueprint millionaires. That's what I call them, because I put this blueprint together, and this blueprint is made up of business and financial principles that if you learn them and put them to practice, you can inevitably at some point become a millionaire. I know this to be true. I live what I teach. But in order for you to actually become that and see business success, you have to educate, train. You have to put these principles into practice, and you have to keep working on them and tweaking them. That's why I put together a 1-year program to give you enough time to learn them, to put them to practice, and to see them actually work for you. So I have a 1-year millionaire mentorship program. It starts out with an initial one-on-one coaching session. I take some time to sit down with you and we go over your goals. We look at what you want to accomplish within the next year. We identify what type of business structure you're going to need. You might need a holding company. You might need a couple LLCs under your holding company. We look at your products and your services to see if they're packaged right, if they're priced right, so that you could present them. We look at what type of systems you need integrated. Do you need a marketing system, a sales system? Do you need a financial system, an operational system? Do you need all of the above? And what we do in that initial assessment is we put a game plan together on what you need to accomplish for the next year. And a part of that game plan is going to be you getting educated and trained. The other part is going to be you being held accountable and being mentored and coached for the year so you can get to your place of success. We also give you 1-year access to my online training program called the Millionaire Blueprint. So you have courses that complement everything that we put together in your game plan. You're going to have courses on sales, marketing, financial systems, operational systems, holding companies, entrepreneurship, goal setting, investing. We give you courses to complement everything we put together in that initial coaching session. We also give you access to our quarterly workshops. So every quarter, we take 1 day and we do a deep dive in this workshop on each of the 4 main systems: sales, marketing, financials, and operations, to complement everything you're learning and you're tracking throughout the year. So that's each quarter. We also give you access to our weekly coaching calls. So every Monday, like tonight, 7:00 p.m. Eastern, I host a live coaching call. It's a private, exclusive coaching call. You access it through your student dashboard on our university platform, and I do a live teaching every Monday. We do a Q&A, we interact, we network, we give feedback, and we keep each other motivated on a week-to-week basis. I also make sure that you have access to our Millionaire Concierge. So throughout the course of any week or any day, if you have a question, if you have something that you're working on that you find yourself dealing with, that you need help in or with, you can call, you can text, you can email. Our concierge, they call, text, and email you as well. This is a very comprehensive 1-year program. I would love to speak with you and share more about this program with you. Of course, you're always free to go to my website, Ramonepreston.com. That's Ramonepreston.com. You could go there and you could take a look at all of our programs, our prices, what each program provides. But more specifically, if you know this is something that you need because you really want business success and you know it's going to require mentorship and it's going to require education, you need this type of information that is really different than some of this other coaching information just on credit repair or other things that might be complementary to this, but this is the infrastructure. I'm a business consultant and my specialty is to help you properly start the right business, structure it so that you can scale it when you do all those other things. And most entrepreneurs don't have that part, even though they might have landing pages, emails, domains, cards, logos. They might have content that they're creating, but they don't have an infrastructure with the right systems and processes, and they always crumble and break down even when they find themselves getting a little momentum. So I want you to reach out to me today. All you have to do is text the word millionaire to me, and I'll reach back out to you so we can talk to you about our Millionaire Mentorship Program, this 1-year coaching and consulting program. So this is my way of taking all of my skill sets and my core competencies as a business and financial consultant and coach, bring them together and give you 1 year to educate yourself, to train, to be held accountable, to have my team and I work with you and mentor you and coach you along the way through each phase of your business building success journey. So all you have to do is text the word millionaire to that number and we'll reach back out to you so that we can answer any questions that you might have about our 1-year mentorship program. And don't wait till the holidays are over. So many people are like, you know what? I'm going to just wait till January 1st. Don't wait till January 1st. Within the next month and a half, you can have so much accomplished in your business. I get a lot of questions from people. Should I start my LLC next year so I can be in the beginning of the year? Should I do it now? You could start it now if you want to start it and just, launch it in 2023 in the beginning. But don't wait to learn how to put it together the right way. Don't wait to learn how to run it the right way. Most people who start LLCs don't even know how to manage the day-to-day operations of them because they don't understand their business needs to be built like a system that has systems and processes so that when you package your products and services and put them in that business, you're able to see success on a different level. I'm here for you. What I give you is what I live and what I provide for myself and for clients that pay me tens of thousands of dollars to help them make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I've got people in my coaching program and in my ecosystem right now that as long as they keep doing what they're doing, at some point they're probably going to be sitting beside me one day testifying that they are millionaires because they follow what I've given to them because they see me living it myself. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Text millionaire to 404-478-7213. We're here waiting to speak with you to answer whatever questions you might have about your business and your financial success. So I appreciate you joining the show today. Please put in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. Put in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. I would love to read the comments to see what your takeaway was, what type of feedback you have, and what value you're getting from these shows that we're giving you on a day-to-day basis. So love all of you. Appreciate you. Today is Millionaire Monday, November the 21st. We'll be back here tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, again with another edition of the Ramonepreston Show.